Thanks for watching. I'm Ben Hoover.
And I'm Judy Gatson. It has been 2 weeks since George Zimmerman was acquitted of all charges in the death of unarmed teenager Trayvon Martin. Tonight, many in America are still struggling to understand how the jurors reached the verdict.
A Midlands pastor who grew up in Central Florida is now using this case as a springboard to talk to young African Americans about racial profiling. He is featured in next week's Time magazine, where he gives possible solutions to handling a controversial yet real problem. Our Megan Norman has the story for you, all new at 11.
After Trayvon. It's the title of next week's Time magazine article and a topic Pastor Eric Freeman addressed that Sunday morning, hours after the verdict. He stood before his congregation at the Meeting Place Church in Columbia, helping them digest and discuss how to move forward.
The initial pushback and thoughts and reflections were to make sure that the hurt did not morph into hate.
He says he's not surprised by the verdict, but does not believe justice was served.
The law does not always speak what is just. As a matter of fact, our entire Christian faith is built upon a Christ who was unjustly crucified under the parameters of the law.
He preaches this from the pulpit, and in the Time article, he talks about using this case as a living example that racial profiling does exist.
We do have to say to our young black boys, it's important for you to recognize that this is a reason that people will use to act in ways that aren't appropriate. And there are steps that you need to take in order to keep yourself out of that position.
It's a message Mark Cooper is already teaching his 9-year-old son, Malachi.
I explained to him how I felt as a father. And when I first heard about the case, I told him that, I began to cry. I became Trayvon Martin's dad for about 15 minutes.
He tries to explain to his son why people are rallying for justice.
What have you learned from this whole case?
Not to judge people from their looks.
Do you think people judge you based on how you look?
Cooper says he wants his son to have a strong sense of self.
When you walk out the door, you have to understand who Malachi Cooper is. Because people may look at you differently, but it's important that he identifies who he is in God. And once he understands that, he doesn't have to walk around timid.
Pastor Freeman says the answer is not necessarily stopping the profiling, but controlling the response.
This isn't about what's fair. This isn't about what's right. As my father taught me growing up in North and Central Florida, you have a choice. You can live or you can be dead right. This is about living to tell.
This is the cover that hits newsstands next Monday. Now, you heard Pastor Freeman talk about Live to Tell. That's the title of a new component of their annual back to school event next month, where they'll be talking about racial profiling, how to deal with it, and how to live to tell your story. It's August 10th at the Meeting Place Church. We have more information on our website. Just click on this story. In the studio, Megan Norman.